Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Week series. This is Lakshit Pant from India, and today we will talk about uh, networking, and we will also talk about a little bit about operating system and what are the concepts that we see in networking. It's more like connecting. So networking comes with connections of multiple networks. So there has been how this right now we are using internet, everything is going digitalized, but how it is, so how it has been built. And there are multiple concepts, right? So it has been all started with just in research paper that was an initiative of four big entities that are University of Utah, Stanford, VLSI, and there is one more, MIT, yeah, MIT. There were four major universities that tried to communicate each other to reduce the human effort of taking the documents manually from one place to another. So in order to replace that human effort, what they tried to execute is to build some digital platform where they can exchange the text document at least. Okay, right, yeah. So now the question comes, and they had successfully built at it. So it was a XHTML document by which they were using to exchange all the documents and everything. Now, uh, when it comes to the problem statements, like then there comes the concept of HTTP. Now there comes the concept of www, the World Wide Web. So that there how, so by the use of World Wide Web, there will be multiple concepts like TCP and IP. All these concepts came out, and they made some protocols like so if you are working in internet, let's assume it like this. Suppose you are working in an organization, and in an organization there has to be some particular definite rules that everyone in a 10,000 plus folk organization has to come by 9 p.m. in the office. They should leave by 5 p.m. in the 9 a.m. in the office. They should leave by 5 p.m. in the office. This should be the timing. There should be a gate pass, and so on. So these are rules that has been particularly there, that one couldn't use their personal laptop for the company purpose, or one can't use their you know company laptop, or universe, or maybe the organization's laptop for personal use cases. So that these are the rules that has been already there. Now, that is the point, right? These are the rules that makes the process smoother. Without rules, there will be a hassle. There will be lots of hassle. It will create a dilemma for everyone to manage, and to keep the process smooth. So now the rules are there. Similarly, we have multiple rules in internet that we call protocols, right? So we have protocols that allow us everyone to be on the same level at the same time, to exchange the messages via multiple channels. Like there are some protocols like for text transfer use, we use HTTPS, or maybe website for text, or maybe hypertext dynamic web pages, we use HTTPS. Can be used HTTP, but there is no SSL. There is no SSL provided in the HTTP, so we use HTTPS. We will talk about that later. We use SMTP, POP3, IMAP for mail transfers. Then we use UDP for video calling. So right now we are connected through a UDP transfer protocol. And then there is this called IP protocol. Now, internet protocol. So we are right now connected with internet protocol that is in vogue right now, right? So UDP used to, so that is IP protocol is something like it's on the top. It's not a new protocol, entire new protocol, but it is based upon the UDP protocol and TCP protocol, and it's built up on the top of it, right? I hope that's understandable. Now there has been particular things like there is a internet that is connected through wires and frames, and there is this router that helps us to get the access of that internet provider. and there has been that particular nodes which help us to manage all the internet aspects, right? So I hope you guys have understood about the word topologies. So what the word the topologies means is it's basically as simple as it is, like if so if you are connected using the connection you so the nodes and the connections, how these nodes are connected to each other, that's the meaning of topology. So there can be bus topology where every node is connected to each other in a bus format, like you are setting the setting arrangement has been made in a bus structure. It can be a tree topology that multiple nodes are connected to multiple each other, and point to point topologies, mesh topologies, star topologies. There can be multiple topologies that help us to define the network, right? Then when we talk about network, there comes the type of networks, like classification based on how computer behave in a network, right? There are two types of classification: peer to peer and server to server. Now, in peer to peer, nodes provide request services, user in each node, administrator, resources, no extra investment is required, easy to set up, and very weak security, but additional load on nodes are there in peer to peer network. While if we talk about server based network, it can be designated to computer to administrator. The resources that all you use are centralized and supports large networks and also strong security. But the main problem is the problem with this server based network is it's expensive when you need to manage the cost of all the workstation and everything. So this is how we talk about networking concepts. Then there is this OSI layers that is very much important in networking. That is, please do not throw the sauces pizza away. That is physical layer. Okay, physical layer, data link layer, presentation layer. Okay, first presentation layer, data link, physical layer, data link layer, network layer, and all these layers that helps us to define how the data will flow, because in every layer the data has been called something else. Like if I just share you some example, just give me a second, let me just share with you. Yeah, so I hope I have already shared the link in the comment section so you can check this out, and I'm just sharing the screen as well. So if you will see in this post, I've already defined there are multiple layers. Please do not throw sauces pizza away. So this is the acronym that is used for physical layer. So I have explained with the example of biscuits. So if you are making, suppose just you want to build a biscuit help of with the help of cookies. I have explained each layer and responsibilities. Physical layer is something like that represent physical components used in a for communication, such as cables, connectors. And if we talk about in a biscuit analogy, it's more like a raw ingredients that are used to make biscuit, like dough and jams and sugar and all these things, right? And it can be chocolate. So there it can be multiple things, right? Then there comes the data link layer that helps and managing that network connection. Data link, you know it makes sure that two networks are being connected to each other. There is no break. The data is being that it makes it ensure the connections, right? So that like if we talk about a biscuit analogy, it's more like mixing the dough and shaping into the biscuits, right? Then we go for the network layer where we handles about addressing routing data packets to different networks. So suppose there are and suppose right now I am talking from here. So in the entire YouTube, whom should this YouTube video, or maybe who should watch the who is watching this video? You guys are watching this video, so particularly you are watching this video, maybe you have got the link, or maybe you have got the link of the YouTube video, or you have subscribed, so you have already got the notification, so that's why you are watching the video. But my mom didn't got this YouTube video because she didn't either subscribe, nor she has got the link. So that's the kind of routing part, so right, that we takes care of in the network layer. Then there is comes the transport layer, where we talk about the reliability of delivery of data by dividing into several fragments segments that we calls, and sequencing, like if I'm saying hello, how are you, then you are also listening hello, how are you, you are not getting you how hello you are. So the sequence is exactly the same, so that is what the use case of the transport layer, right? Then, and the fifth layer is something very tricky. There is session layer, because sometimes you all have seen those sessions, right? Like managing the sessions. So what I mean by managing the sessions, so you must have seen right now, and some phones. What happens is, suppose if you are using if you are using WhatsApp, maybe suppose you are using playing any game, and again if when you maybe if you are play if you are on one application, suppose you are playing Valorant, right, on your phone, and then you got a message on Instagram, you just switch back to Instagram, saw the message, and again you are back on the Valorant, and you are still on the same game, you are still on the same session. So that is what we call a session, right? Your username, you don't need to authenticate it again, you don't need to go the authentication process again and again. You authenticated it once, and now you can work on the same session by searching it upon, and you get a particular ID. Every session has its particular ID, and that is how you are getting the session layer. So everything is managed by the session layer, right? The quality control and the tracking of the, like, who is using, where is using. Then there is called the presentation layer, and it totally handles the data representations, encryption, decryption part. And at the last application layer, it's basically the network services that facilitates communication. It comes all to protocols and everything that concept that comes to your end. So this is how you can see. Also, this is the very particular peculiar diagram that helps you identify how this works. So first, this is device A, and I want to send the data to device B. Now, at the application layer, I have all my protocols. Suppose I'm sending the email, so I'll be using SMTP server, right? So through SMTP server, it will ask to presentation layer. Now presentation layer will identify what type of file is this, what is this. So it's a JPG image, or what is this. So it's it's a text based image, it's a dot text file. So now it will go to session layer, it will keep the session. So socket RPC sockets, there can be the term that we use in, okay, along with WebSockets, there is one more thing that we used recently. I just forgot the name. That also is quite similar. Okay. Then we go to transport layer, where it ensures TCP UDP connection. What type of connection is there, right? Then there is network layer, where we see IP routing part and everything, right? Then it's come data link layer, where we get MAC header, IP addresses, HTTP header data, and we call frame. So in the entire OSI layer, in every layer we have a name for the data packet. In session layer, we call it data. In transport layer, we call it a TCP segment UDP packet. In network layer, we call it a IP datagram. In data link layer, we call it a frame. And in physical layer, we call it a bit, because in physical layer, it is transferring in the 0101 format, and then we are decoding it. Right, every layer is being decoded or decrypted layer. So this is how simply data encryption works. If you want to understand, right? So this is how precisely the data encryption works. Now, if you want to understand a little bit more, you can explore it in the place. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. Have a nice day.